Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Amanda with LUMA.GURU. Today we're going to discuss the Golden Age of Aquarius. This is the time that we're moving into, and also we're going to talk about some of the other astrological events and times that are lining up to be a part of the movement into this new energy. We're welcoming the new solar year with the spring equinox and a very powerful super full moon in Libra on the 28th of March. We're going to be moving through a discussion regarding major times of transformation, which I'm sure many of you have started to feel the energy coming in and the shifts all around us. It is the time being moving up, moving quicker, faster. It feels as if we have stepped into a river where it is at a point within the river where the rapids are appearing, just starting to appear. Very fast movement. I'm also in spring, so in some places time has moved forward 1 hour, but it feels as if it's moved forward even faster than that because it was already moving faster before we did the whole spring forward. And with that, it really feels as if the days are zooming by. I don't know if you feel that way, but I certainly do. And I would like to just go ahead and throw in a disclaimer here. For those of you listening, to please use your discernment. Take what resonates with you from what I'm presenting and leave the rest. This is an excellent opportunity for you to tap into your higher guidance and knowing, and only ingest, take in, assimilate the information that resounds for you. So let's get into a lot of information. First, let's move into let's talk about the spring equinox. The information that I have regarding the spring equinox is that it's anchoring the Christ consciousness energy. They're showing it to me as a portal of light. And it is a very iridescent, sparkly, dazzling white. And I associate this with the resurrection ray, the white ray. And it is the earliest spring equinox that we've had in 124 years. In addition to that, I feel this portal, even though this energy lasts for the year, because this is the hallmark of the new year energetically, I feel that the particular portal that's containing the amount of light, the photonic light, that's bringing in massive transformation within the physical structure, but also aligning those who are in the phase of resurrection within their own ascension journey to bring in more light, to activate more of their DNA strands, to bring in and anchor more of their own higher energy, their own Christ energy. I feel this portal it opened with the new moon in Pisces on March 13th. And it continues through the new moon in Aries on April 12th. So we are probably at the heightened amount of this energy that is coming in. And the energy that is coming in, that is coming in with the resurrection portal, will impact and work with everybody on the planet, all of mankind. And the amount of light that you're able to take in, to assimilate within the physical structure, within the body, through the mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies, as well as all of the etheric bodies, light bodies, through all 12 dimensions, through all 12 chakras, will be equivalent to the amount of density that has been dropped from within the physical structure. If we look at this as purely the evolution of the human body as it is absorbing more light, it vibrates faster and it drops density. So the amount of light that you are able to absorb is equivalent to the amount of density that you've dropped. So putting that in a different way, imagine just moving back to March 13th during this new moon phase. I'm sure that many of you would agree that the week or two leading up to that was a very emotional time. There seemed to be a lot of water, but Pisces is about emotion, it is water, and it was about releasing some of the major ties or anchors of karmic relationships or karmic situations that have been with you through many lifetimes. Indeed, whatever that particular thing was that you were moving through was themed with a lot of different lifetimes of similar events or relationships, because it is something that has been your reoccurring theme to help you to evolve and to move into ascension status. So it could have been a very emotional time, and you still may be going through that actually, until we reach the full moon on the 28th, which is all about letting go. So with that, it would be a great time to perform ceremony. And also, I would say that to move this energy through you of finally letting go these pieces of emotional baggage or turmoil, trauma, wounding, all of these things, you can work with the white ray. So imagine a dazzling white ray coming through your crown chakra and all the way through your center channel out the bottom of your feet, anchoring into the earth, into the crystal grid lines. You can imagine this beautiful, iridescent, brilliant white light absorbing and taking with it any of those old emotions, situations, thoughts, any programming, anything that you wish to let go of and move through you, so that you may move into the state of physical perfection, letting go of the density and absorbing light, moving more towards your highest version of self, your Christed self. You can release those things with this white light. So that's a great exercise to move through as you're letting go of what the final pieces may be holding you back from stepping into your highest potential. Another wonderful way of letting these things go is a ceremony with the full moon. The full moon happens in March on the 28th, and it's in Libra. It's a super full moon, and it's also known as the worm moon. Up here I have worm moon. So if you think about this, the worm moon, they say that it is because this moon is so brilliant and so bright that the worms underneath the ground gravitate towards it and come up through the earth towards the light of the moon. Again, I feel that this is representative of the amount of light that is coming in for all of us right now. And also, I feel that it also represents the truth coming towards the light. All of the things that have been hidden underneath the ground, all of the things that have been less than wonderful, maybe something that's been held up within your own world. So think of it first in your life, and then branch it out to your community, and then into the world stage. I feel that the next 30 days following this moon, you will find that there will be a lot of truth, a lot of darkness being pulled up from underneath the ground. That which has been cloaked and hidden shall be brought to justice, brought to light, because I feel that as beings of divine light, we have the right to fully see the truth and know the truth so that we can make choices regarding our own soulful evolution based on fact. And that is a part of universal law, divine law. And I believe that with this anchoring of the Christ consciousness and in combination with this full moon in Libra about justice and balance and harmony, that it is about bringing back divine law, universal law, where everything is governed underneath the dictates and the justice of the divine, of Creator. So I believe that that is basic human rights, civil rights, humanitarianism. It's about standing up for those next to you who are not able to. It's about forming sacred relationships, sacred partnerships, forming partnerships and types of business, enterprise that has to do with bringing light into the world. So higher level relationships and business. I feel that it is about returning harmony to the people, returning balance, returning justice, fair play, brotherhood and sisterhood, about cause and effect. It is returning and making right all that has been hidden, all that has been used to manipulate the people, and again, within your own world as well. Many people who have been working with the energy to transform their lives, to move to a place where they are in alignment with their higher calling, their higher knowing, their divine purpose, living through their passionate heart, their compassionate heart. I feel that those individuals, many of them, have had some form of truth that has been cloaked, that has been hidden from them. And I see that there is many beings of light standing by with those individuals as they are working with the elemental kingdom to bring forward the truth. Because we are in a magical time. As we move through this portal, I feel that the elemental kingdom is also working with our body elemental and to use their magical abilities within this bright white light to bring more truth to those who have been held captive by through intended, purposeful imprisonment. These are all the words I'm hearing. So think of if you feel like you've tried to move forward in life, but something keeps holding you back, something has kept you from moving forward. Maybe you felt that you were supposed to be in a different place at this point in your life, that you had seen certain things happening, you had visions, had information from your guides that certain events would occur for you, and you felt fairly confident in that, and then nothing has happened. And that is because there has been, I feel, I won't call it, it's not magic, there's other words surrounding that, but it just feels that there has been something blocking that from you. So what is happening is whatever is going to be coming out in the next 30 days will be unblocking, removing any restrictions for those of you who are meant to be working in the world with mankind and bringing and shining your light to work in the next phase of enlightenment and anchoring the golden energy that will be coming in with the resurrection portal. Okay, I hope all of that makes sense. I know it is a lot, but let's keep moving. So we're moving into the age of Aquarius. Many people have different timelines for when the Age of Aquarius started, when they believe it will start. For myself, I believe that the Age of Aquarius was brought forward at the end of January with that particular full moon that happened at the end of January. I believe that was the anchoring in the beginning or the dawn of Aquarius. And what's wonderful about that is we have 200 years now as we move into air signs. And Aquarius is all about invention, scientific advancement, technology, the mind, the higher mind, the mind of God, where you combine your higher heart, your higher mind, and that brings you into the connection or the stream of consciousness with the mind of God, where we work to bring forward enlightenment and anchor transformational energies into the earth for all of humanity as it evolves at its own pace, as is its right through divine will. But this is a 200-year cycle that we can expect to move through these beautiful energies that are coming in. In addition to that, many people have heard of the Golden Age. I feel that the Golden Age is a time that we're moving into as well. So these cycles are huge, and they are the very beginning stages of these cycles. So if you look at the Golden Age, it's a 10,000-year cycle. The holy men and women of the Inca prophecies stated that we were going to be entering a time period from 1993 to 2012. It was a critical time in the evolution of human consciousness. And they called this time the age of meeting ourselves again. And during this time, they said that we would make a transition from third level awareness to fourth level. And they were also talking about how we had to cleanse collective fears and gather enough spiritual energy so that mankind could pass collectively into the fourth dimension or fourth level consciousness. It's my understanding from my guides and from my interpretation of the time that we're moving into now is the Golden Age, that we have passed that tipping point. There is a critical mass amount or percentage of energy that was needed to allow all of humanity to move from third dimension to fourth dimensional energy. The fourth dimensional energy is where we are now. To me, I feel that this is a space that creates the bridge to the fifth dimensional energy. It allows those that wish to continue to learn through karma, through cause and effect, the ability to do so. But it also offers a stream of awareness, of consciousness from the fifth dimensional energies for those who wish to create reality, their reality, based in higher awareness, outside of the laws of cause and effect, outside of karma, and into an anchoring of the golden energies, the golden matrix of Christ consciousness, that of being your creator self, that of acknowledging and expressing your divine creator self, your Christed being self, which is why it's so profound that we're entering this time, this portal, the resurrection portal with the spring equinox of death and rebirth, of coming into the fullness of who we are during the dawn of the Golden Age and the start of the Age of Aquarius. So as you can see, there's so much amazing energy and so many particular points that are pushing us and all of humanity into a higher form of ourselves, a more evolved version of ourself. And to that end, this age of meeting ourselves again, I feel that many of us here who are light workers who are here as I call us the first responders. Those anchoring and holding this energy are those of you who were in the last time of the Golden Age. And we are here again, and we are meeting ourselves again, because many of us are going back and healing and working with those parts of ourselves and integrating those selves with those parts of ourselves within ourself now. Because we are moving through an ascension process or an evolution that includes the evolving body. So it's happening on a very physical level. With that, we have to integrate. Some people call it the shadow side. Some people call it negative side. But it is all the same. We are all of the pieces. We are the dark and the light of ourselves. And understanding that, integrating it, and bringing everything into fullness and wholeness, and loving every bit of ourselves will allow us to embrace more of our Christ itself and move more fully into the higher expression of who we are and what we're here to be. The children of the sun have existed since the last golden era, have returned to assist mankind from transitioning from the iron era to the new golden age that we're moving into. So the last 10,000 year cycle that we're moving out of was called the iron era, and it was winter. So imagine we are moving out of a long winter and awakening into this beautiful golden age that we're now starting to experience. I feel that many of us feel this transition in a very powerful way. At the very core of yourself, you can feel this transition as we move more fully into the golden energies that are streaming onto our planet. It's just so amazing to me, and it really, it is a breath of fresh air, and it's so representative of the times that we're in as we are moving in to this freshness. It feels fresh and new and exciting, and it feels as if we have opened the doors to possibilities again. And I'm very happy to be experiencing this with all of you who are here again for the next age, the next golden age. So with that, what does this mean, right? So we're moving now into the evolving human. It has to do with our DNA. There's so much about it that is physical, and all of it lines up to allow our bodies to absorb more light so that we evolve and that we vibrate higher. It's very cool. Okay, so here we go. Playing a role in our awakening and our elevated consciousness, the activation of our 12-strand DNA. So a holographic quantum biocomputer. That's basically what our entire strand, fully activated 12-strand DNA would look like, right? Because that 12 strands of DNA correlates to 12 chakras, which correlate to 12 dimensions, which correlate to 12 meridian spin points within our body, which connect to our 12 etheric light bodies, which then creates an opening and a doorway of our spiritual vehicle being our Merkaba, which allows us to transition and move through all 12 dimensional fields. I know that that is a lot to ingest, but I feel that that is where we are moving. That is the end game and what we truly wish to express as a divine creator soul as we awaken more fully into the knowledge of who we are. I feel that we are absorbing light, which is activating the quantum biocomputer. So we have the 2 strands of DNA that they call our building blocks, the scientists of today's world. And the other 10 strands, they are labeling as junk DNA, which is really humorous if you think about it. We know that's not true, but it is a holographic type of expression. I believe that those DNA strands can be activated with light, with sound, with frequency, and I feel that that is what is happening. But we'll get more into that in a moment. It also has to do with Earth's position in space, Schumann resonance, which is a heartbeat of Earth, solar flares, so more influx of light that is coming in through the solar activity, and also Earth's magnetic field. There are certain times within the year, the annual year, during solstice periods, where the magnetic field of the Earth has indentations or openings, cracks, doorways that allow more light to move through the magnetic field, thereby impacting our magnetic field even more, meaning we absorb more of this photonic light, which is why during solstice periods, many of the indigenous people knew that it was a wonderful time for ceremony and for meditation because there was more light available. It was where you were able to bring in more of your higher awareness and connect to more streams of consciousness that could bring you more knowing, that could bring in through the magnetic field more light. Light being information and upgrading and coding, okay? So Earth physically is moving through a highly charged portion of space immersed within the photon belt, meaning this radiation that is emanating from there. And we entered there in the late 1900s, and we're there for a 2,000-year period. And this only happens every 12,000 years. So at this time, we're being showered with this intense, immense, amazing, brilliant photonic light. And it's being pulled through our physical magnetic fields into our body to upgrade us into higher consciousness beings. And again, the time periods, you can't ignore how this is all lining up, right? With the Golden Age that's coming in the 1900s, right? So, 1900s, 1990s. So all of these timelines line up to create what is happening now, which is this evolution, this revolution, spiritual revolution, introducing us to ourselves, where we're meeting ourselves again, right? So we are bringing in all of this light so that we can upgrade our operating system and to put us more in alignment with our Christ itself. This photonic light are their nanoparticles, nanophotonic particles, and again, activating our quantum biocomputer and our etheric 10 strands of DNA. It activates the Kundalini energy from within our own physical body in the base chakra, which is our root chakra. It's activating our third eye, our higher knowing, our intuition. It's activating our ability to use our extrasensory skills, telecommunication, where we can communicate telepathically. It's building this neuron network that it sits above our own neuron network. So this etherically is kind of like the quantum biocomputer. I believe that this comes through an endocrine system that is an overlay of our own endocrine system on a physical level. There is a secondary endocrine system that has this neural network that is based on photonic light. It's based in photosynthesis, much like a plant. Working with plant technology activates this. And I feel that this is a new neural network of this higher evolved biocomputer that we have available to us and is being enhanced, activated, encoded with the photonic light that is now moving into our bodies through the solstice and the resurrection portal, and also in addition to the positioning of Earth and allowing for more of this amazing photonic light to filter through our body and to activate these areas. So this is again speaking to the DNA and how we are more than just 2 strands of DNA. Ancient wisdom and even modern science is now really starting to understand that those 10 strands are not junk, that they are holographic in nature, and it is a mega biocomputer. I believe that it is this overlay that I was discussing. My guides show it to me as the secondary endocrine system. And again, ancient wisdom and modern science is even proving that DNA can be intentionally activated with sound and light and vibration, and that it is etheric. So evolution in this awakening is assured as we move further and deeper into the process of transformation that is upon us. Even in scientific theory, punctuated equilibrium states that science and evolution, it usually proceeds slowly and then is punctuated by short bursts of rapid evolution associated with speciation. So there have been many scientists that have studied this for a long time, mostly with plants and trees, and have seen this and proven it. And actually, I believe that this is exactly what is happening. We're moving through a very rapid transformational process, but it is all of everything on the planet. It's all of the planet, everything upon it, and also mankind. And also that a lot of the technology that we are using that is moving through us with our 10 strands of DNA and that biocomputer, again, will be based on plant technology. You're going to hear a lot of that coming up in the coming times as we move forward into this information that is coming in, the light, higher technology-based movement, which I'll get into more in a moment. But it will be the evolution of our planet and everything upon it. Using this rainbow spectrum light, by the way. Many of you know about the rainbow light, diamond light, and this is what is being anchoring with the resurrect. This is what is being anchored, finally and activated in the 4th dimensional field of the diamond matrix, and some people call it rainbow. And I do believe this is why the elemental kingdom is so involved with the rainbow, the frequency of rainbow. It also carries a lot of vibration with water, and how water is heavily, so the elemental kingdom being elements, being water, being air, right? So here we are moving in through the elements, air, water, earth, and sound, or what is the other one? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank, but I'm sure you know what I mean, right? So it's elemental kingdom, and we're moving this through all of the elements with the rainbow energy, the diamond light matrix of the Earth's hologram. So that's the 4th dimension. What we'll be moving into next, after we move through this next 5-year cycle, actually that will culminate at the end of 2024, 2025, we'll be moving into the Golden Age, right? So we are in the very beginning stages of this golden era movement. And those of you that have been, you know who you are. And if you're listening to this, I'm sure that that is you, that you are a light worker and that you are meant to anchor the new golden matrix that is forming and coming in now with this resurrection portal and this anchoring. Although it's activating and pulling everything from the 4th dimensional field online, it also then creates the whole possibility of the 5th dimensional matrix to start anchoring and allowing those who wish to experience 5th dimensional energies the ability to do so through that golden technology of the golden rays that are coming in. So that is what will be complete at the end of the transitionary period that we're moving through now. So that'll anchor in the last 5 dimensions. That will be all 12 dimensional fields within the entire space of our Earth matrix, and the ascension process then will be complete. So we still have we still have time to move through all of this, but that's how I see the movement progressing. This can be proven through the Schumann resonance, and it's also called the heartbeat of Mother Earth. So in times past, the frequency was stabilized around 7.83. In recent times, it's elevated, and it's now closer to 8.5, which actually is even higher than that, I believe. But it's even punctuated by hertz as high as 16, and I've even seen it higher than that since this was written. But that shows how the frequencies of Earth are elevating. And because our brains have some of the same brain waves or frequencies as the Schumann resonance, that's our theta and our alpha waves, we are entrained to the frequencies of the Schumann resonance, meaning as the Earth's frequency changes and elevates, so do ours. In our bodies, the technology of our body, our spacesuit, was always meant to be in tandem with the frequencies of Earth, with the heartbeat of Mother Earth. That is known as earthing and grounding. So if you put your bare feet upon the earth, the paths at the top of your feet actually are the most porous in your body, and that is for a reason. We uptake positive ions from the earth and release negative ions from our body, and it works as a charger left and right. It moves through our entire body, and it clears our body of negativity. It clears density. It clears old stagnant energy. It keeps the frequencies moving within our body to align with the Schumann resonance frequencies. As it's uptaking that, it brings in those energies, and it releases any energies that do not vibrate at the same frequency. So if you think about that, everything has a frequency. Any traumatic event has a very low frequency because it caused pain and suffering. And so if it doesn't resonate with the energy of the Schumann resonance and that of the heartbeat of Earth, then it would be a lower frequency, right? So what it's doing is, in effect, removing those from you. What has happened over time as humans have evolved, we started wearing shoes, right? So the shoes block us from grounding and uptaking that Schumann resonance through our feet in a way that helps to keep our body clear. So we're still being entrained with the frequencies of the Schumann resonance. However, if you are to go into a practice or to move into a practice of grounding or earthing, you can look it up. I'll include a link in the description. You'll find that you're able to release things from your body consciously with connecting into the Schumann resonant frequencies, or even if you just connect to the heart of Mother Earth. If you put your hands on your heart, draw attention and awareness to your heart and your breathing through your heart, as if your heart is your mouth, breathing in effect and finding a comfortable rhythm, and just allowing the connection of your heart and Mother Earth's heart, allowing the beats to synchronize, and allowing your bare feet to connect to the earth and the Schumann resonance, you'll find that you're able to move the energy through your body and allow everything that no longer serves you, a lower density frequency than that of the Schumann resonance, to leave your body. Because what happens with entrainment is when two frequencies vibrate at the same frequency, and everything else has to drop, right? So that's how it's releasing from your body. Ionic foot baths are a really good way of moving that same type of energy through you. Also, you can have, there is a company called Earthing that offers grounding products, which are great if you can't put your feet on the earth because it's too cold outside. So there are other ways to work with that energy. There are also light technology therapies that include the Schumann resonance. However, those would be the Schumann resonance of where it used to be maintained at the 7.83 level and not at the higher levels that they're moving into now. So if you're using a Schumann resonance product that has those particular frequencies embedded within the light that it's bringing you, you could have some disharmony within your own body if your frequency has already elevated past that older Schumann resonance. So if you are using light technology and it's not making you feel better, that could be because your frequency has surpassed that and it's trying to bring your frequency down to another level. So that is something that I would exercise caution with. Use your discernment and actually think about that, look into it. So this again is just expressing and showing. The slide is talking about entrainment and how our vibration matches that of the Schumann resonance. But I believe that, we've kind of talked about that one. So I'm going to move on past here. It's just putting us in coherence with the Schumann resonance and in coherence with the earth and all of the animals and plants and crystals and other beautiful beings of those that are living upon the planet. So there's actually evidence that humans have intuitively synchronized with the planet's resonance throughout human history, back into the eons of time. This is well documented, and it's something that I feel that we will be moving into more fully again as we connect back with the earth. That is something that will be happening as we move forward in time. We will be moving back into harmony with the earth as we build communities and we work with building sustainable sources of food and water within groups of people who come together through their soulful connection of like mind, like heart, to create these beautiful communities of light. We will be working again and returning back to Earth with plant technology and light technology, vibrational and sound and energetic technology. So here are a few things that are coming up of what to expect as we move into the next few years of transition. More soul family coming together in partnership to form businesses, to form communities, to form even online communities and in-person communities. You'll find divine complements or twin flames, the reunion of two complemented souls coming together, because together you can anchor in and bring in more light through the unification of your equal halves. Truths of all forms being revealed. The divine feminine unifying as programming will be removed and deleted. That which has kept the divine feminine separate. Children will be born remembering more of their previous lifetimes, and also they'll be born with more of their DNA activated. And I believe that this will be proven as we move forward in time by science, as they start to try and understand these children that will be coming in, because they are going to blow the minds of some people. Physically, our bodies, as they change and we absorb more light, it means we vibrate faster. We're vibrating faster as the earth is vibrating faster, and that's punctuated by the time and it's and how we feel time to be moving faster. Again, that means a quicker paced metabolism within our own body. We move through the evolution period, or releasing density or absorbing more light. That picks up quantumly as we get to a certain point it will move very fast. It means less physical food, but definitely a lot more discernment about the type of food and its energy that we ingest. The food, the water, will all be more structured and aligned with our physical body as it moves through its changes. There will be, okay, so many people will begin to remember their past lifetimes, many of their tools that they used in past lifetime, sacred technology, their innate knowledge of who they are, where they came from, and maybe even a galactic sense. And that will be as the third eye is activated through the Kundalini awakening that will be starting in the base chakra. So if you think about it, okay, the dazzling white light, white ray, is also represents the base chakra. It also represents the root chakra, and that is where Kundalini energy is moving from. So this white ray also can activate the Kundalini energy. You can use that same ray to work with your root chakra. You can also use that same ray to work with releasing any fear from your kidneys, from your root chakra, and feeling safe and secure and stable. That's all about grounding. That's all about the root chakra. That is all about building this new foundation for yourself and for humanity as we move into this transformational time of the next several years. So think about that. It all lines up again, and I just love the synchronicity of how we are fully supported as we move through this process, through these physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual changes into a higher evolved being, a higher being of light, a new form of human that we're emerging into. It's so amazing to me how the synchronicities line up and how supported we are. Again, so science will be evolving new biomarkers for aging based on time, how time is moving, and how our bodies are aging and withstanding it. And they're going to find that we will have more ability to heal, we'll heal quicker, and that we will have a higher level of vitality, and that our age, our cellular age, will not line up with our physical numbered age. Aging will seem to slow down as we move forward in time. Our extrasensory abilities coming on board, and they will be scientifically studied and recognized. And indeed, actually, religion and science will begin to merge as science is able to start to show, to prove how God, oneness, the consciousness of Christ and oneness, and these fields of photonic light, and how particles or streams of consciousness are all connected, and how we're all brought together through all of this, and how we are all interconnected and are one. All of this information that will start coming in will be changing the shape and the field of science and religion, and how we view each other as brothers and sisters, and how we move together into a form of consciousness where all is supported, into unity and love. So that's exciting. And again, this is later, and probably in the 3 and 4 year mark. Let's see. Neurological conditions will start to improve. There's been a lot of neurological disease that has happened, Alzheimer's, dementia, children with autism and various other conditions. And many of them, as they move into higher frequencies, will find that their brains are more aligned to the higher frequencies because they are already using their sensory abilities, which is why many of the children have sensory processing disorder or sensory issues. It's because their energy and their frequencies are higher. They use that higher neural network of the higher endocrine system, of the holographic endocrine system that is powered by light. So as more light is activating that for them, you'll find that many of these children that have neurological issues will improve. And also of the older generational beings who have had neurological issues with dementia and Alzheimer's and that sort of thing, because they also will have access to that other neural network, allowing for a different neurological environment. So you may see some of these, some improvements that may seem like some miraculous healing, but really it is the ability to use this other neural network. So as we move through this, and this is kind of how I visualize that diamond or brilliant white light of the white ray, of the resurrection ray, to be that brilliant white sparkly. That's the background of this slide. The physical body's moving through all of these amazing changes, and these are areas to take care. Again, I'm not a physician, and you should use your own discernment. Check with your own naturopathic doctors or MDs, whatever type of medical attention that you use or care to use, to check in to see what feels right for you. Again, discernment is your number one priority here. Again, I believe that this endocrine system, the endocrine system that we have, our physical endocrine system, hypothalamus, amygdala, the pituitary, the thymus, your thyroid, the pineal gland, pituitary gland, all of these systems have the overlay of the 10 strands of DNA that create that holographic biocomputer, this mega computer that connects us to all of the aspects of ourselves through all 12 dimensional fields. That particular endocrine system is powered through light, through this photonic light. And it is very much connected to our nervous system and our central processing. So it creates sensory overload as all of this secondary system comes online. So it can create an overload of the system. So through that, you can do practice mindfulness techniques. You can do long, deep breathing. You can breathe through your heart, as I discussed earlier, when syncing with the earth and then the Schumann resonance. That's another wonderful way to get yourself connected and in harmony, in synchronicity, into coherence with the Schumann resonance and with the evolving, heightening frequencies that are coming in, because the earth is moving through that process. You can do yoga, qigong or tai chi, meditation, practicing earthing techniques, homeopathic remedies. Lavender on the bottom of the feet is excellent. Acupuncture would be great because you'd move the energy through the 12 meridian points. And also always keep in mind to work with your detox pathways, because we're releasing that density on a very physical level. And maybe even think about decreasing animal products, because your digestion has to spend a great amount of time digesting animal products. If it doesn't have to do that, I can spend more time detoxing, clearing the lymph system, the liver and the kidneys, the gallbladder. So allowing extra care to be moved through those particular detox systems. The lymph system is something that you definitely could work with. Craniosacral would be great because it moves the lymph system that is in the brain. We actually have our own system within the brain that is a detox system, and it's called it starts with a G, like lymph system. So it connects into our lymph. It drains down through our ingestion and through the tubes behind our ears into the back of our throat. So as the brain is cleared, it moves down down through that gestation tubes and connects into the back of our throat and then moves through the process. So the brain does move through releasing toxins as well. And there's specialty forms of cranial sacral that actually helps to move that as well, that particular system. Okay, so now I'm going to get into just some predictive information. And again, if it doesn't align with your higher knowing of what you believe to be true for you, then just leave it where it is, and it does not need to go any further than that. This is all about discernment. This is the information that I believe to be true as I've been given from my Ascension team and from my guides. And these are the things that they asked me to discuss as we move into the phase of how things are going to start shifting from the point now into the following year. So much of what I'm going to talk about is into the following year, all the way up to the year 2024, even into 2025, because this is the major transitional point as we move fully into the golden era, into the age of Aquarius. You know, it's a 10,000 year cycle butting up against another 10,000 year cycle. So as you can imagine, there has to be some transition, some movement from the winter into the spring. You know, if you think about winter where you live, if you live somewhere where you experience the 4 seasons, you know that sometimes you think spring is here and you're moving into it, and then you'll have some huge snow and it'll blanket everything, and you're like, wow, I thought we were out of winter. But you can see, even just by looking at that kind of parallel, we're in a transitionary phase as we move more fully into it. So we have to release all of the things from the winter that no longer serve in the spring. It's a death and rebirth. And through that, it means that we have to move through some transition. Transition, to me, as I see it in the coming times, are going to be brought about through truth. Things that have been kept hidden, things that have been kept from you purposefully, some would say with malintent, to keep you imprisoned, but against your divine free will for certain. And this is a time of returning justice, because I believe that this is about the return of divine law, universal law, and that is anchoring with the resurrection portal, with the Christ consciousness being infused into our matrix again, where everything is about equality, justice, about freedom, about living as our true light self, true and lightest self. So with that, what do you think might start happening? There's going to be some shocking revolutionary type truths that are going to be revealed. These truths, I believe, are going to be anchored and begin within the field or within a space of religion and government. Mostly first religion and then into government. I think it's because there's always the macro and the micro. To me, I feel that if we are anchoring divine law again, that it has to begin with what's the divine law that exists here now? Is it in alignment with God's highest truth and purpose? The way that the dogma of our religious cultures and beliefs encapsulate humanity now. I feel that you're going to see some movement and change surrounding religion, organized religion. And I think some of it may be quite shocking, and it will definitely create some civil unrest and a call for civil rights, a call for justice. It will create some more legal movement. It'll create change in governmental power. It'll create change in governmental process. It'll create a world governmental agency, perhaps. There will be a lot of microscopic evaluation of organizations, large organizations, how they're formed and structured, how they have their products produced, and also about how the structure of government, how about the structure of large organizations, about the structure of large charitable organizations are structured, and the misalignment with their mission and actually what they may be doing. So is there truth and integrity in who they say they are and how they use their power or the money that they collect or earn from their products or from the money that they receive through charitable donation? There are going to be a lot of scrutiny top down about the structure. And within these spaces, you're going to see a lot of reorganization of power, a lot of citizens taking control back, whether it be even control over your own thoughts surrounding your physical body and how you choose to express your free rights through how you spend your money or your energy or your time, and who you support. It's very much going to be from your own self branching outward. Those of you who are here on the Blu-ray who stand for truth and justice and bringing freedom and bringing rights, civil rights, basic human rights back to this matrix, back to Earth, back to humanity. Those are you that maybe even that are here to amplify the Blu-ray of the 7 sacred rays, but also maybe you are an indigo or a Blu-ray, described yourself as a Blu-ray. Those of you are here to stand for that and create the change. Those will be the ones that are out protesting and actually doing the physical work, the physical action. It could be very action oriented. So with this, there will be some unrest. There will be some leveling out. It'll come in ebbs and flows as people bring in the information, as they bring in the truth, and they filter it through their own reality and create their new next level of awareness and consciousness. Because once you perceive something different and your reality shifts, your awareness shifts. When your awareness shifts, your level of consciousness shifts and changes and aligns with the other strands of consciousness that frequency lines up with. So you'll find that you align with different people because of that. Different organizations, different governmental theories, different scientific theories, different ways of practicing your religious beliefs or aligning to religious beliefs or working with how you feel about spirituality and religion. There's going to be a lot of movement on this front, and there's so much speculation that you can find. Anyway, I won't label it all out, but many people have wondered why this has not come to pass. Many people have been waiting for this truth and these justice moments. However, there has been a spiraling of energy that started on the 9/9/20 portal. It went for 3 days. It was 9/10/11. 9/10/11 was a 3-day downward spiral that was amplified by 3. It went on for 6 months, and it was a cloaking, shielding, basically like a that branched out over all of humanity and brought the energy down this for 6 months. And it basically, if you think of like a wet blanket over the consciousness of our earth, of our people, of humanity, that brought all of our energy lower because it didn't allow for this truth or this justice to be known. I wouldn't call it magic, again, but I see it as this carbon, graphite, black, sparkling, heavy overlay that was purposefully placed to lower consciousness, so that as we move into this phase that we're moving into now with the spring equinox, that the consciousness would not be at a place where it could bring in and anchor the resurrection portal or Christ consciousness. However, that has bottomed out the energy of that spiraling down, and just like how energy moves and works, we have to have both polarities. It has gone down as far as it can, and now the energy is going to bounce back up. It will be moving quickly. If you think of like bouncing a ball down as hard as you can, which is what has been happening over the last 6 months since last September, hiding, cloaking, manipulation, deceit on all levels is now being lifted. So now imagine if you slam that ball down and it bounces back even higher. So you can imagine that the spiral up is going to continue for 10 months at least. I see 10 to 12 months. And that spiraling up is what's going to bring the truth and the justice that we've all been waiting for. So if you've been wondering why there's been no movement on this front, that is why. That's the information that I was given. I first perceived it as a glass ceiling, and then I realized that that was only a cloaking, mirroring device, and it was actually this other carbon-based, darker form of energy that was bringing the energy down. So anyway, that is my belief over what has happened, but I do believe now that it all is going to be coming to light. I believe in the coming times, everything is going to be the next year into the next 12, or let's say 10 months into 2.5 years. A lot about water, structured, reorganized. We're going to be working with water for storage, informational storage, to work with quantum computing, quantum computers. We'll understand ancient technology because many of these documents have been kept hidden from humanity. We will have this returned. We'll understand the ancient technology and the role water played as a recorder for consciousness. All of Earth's consciousness is contained within the waters, the byways of water, the oceans, the streams, the aquifers. It's the blood of Earth. Just as the water that moves through us, it's the same percentage on Earth. It's within our body. There's no, you can't even make this stuff up. It's so amazing how water plays such a role in our own vitality, in our own life, but also upon the planet. So this whole reorganization of water is within the field of how we will ingest water and how we will use water for storage and how we'll understand how water actually works and holds consciousness. But to another degree, we're going to see a lot of water movement upon the earth, displacement of water, large amounts of water. They're showing me earth movement from the plate tectonics that will start in the 11th month and moving on. Large earthquakes presenting walls of water. Water masses, I see several water masses coming together to form larger water masses. There will be some earth that rises from the water. There'll be some earth that moves underneath the water. There'll be a lot of movement. But I feel like this is going to be done with the most gentlest of action possible. And I don't say that about the water and the movement to bring any fear, because I don't feel fear from it. I feel that if you're aligned with your highest self, which is what we are working with now, that will allow you to be in the right place, right time. You'll know where to be, and everything is as it should be, because everything is under the contract with the divine, with the individual, with the earth, with everything upon it. And we are all in right action as we move into these next few years of amazing transformation. DNA activations with plant-based coherence. Again, that endocrine system I was speaking of will be addressed based with plant photosynthesis type technology through the use of homeopathics, herbs, essential oils, structured water, even with the frequencies of plant-based technology. There's a lot in this field that's going to be coming up. Many of you will be working with that. Many of you who work with the Emerald Ray, who work with Archangel Raphael of the Seven Sacred Rays. If you haven't seen the Ray recordings that I have on my YouTube channel, find out in the description box what day of the week you were born, and then you'll know which Ray you are here to amplify, and you will get your energy report every month based on your Ray. And that is their LUMA scopes, so light, LUMA scope. And it, to me, is the information that we need as those of us who are evolving into this higher light being to understand our role in humanity as we help to move it into anchor in the golden matrix and move through the next 5-dimensional fields. And you'll understand what that is once you start tapping into that energy. Sorry, my throat. I mean, we're clearing our throat chakras because our throat is the 5th dimension. It's the 5th chakra and it's the 5th dimension, and it's about working with speaking our truth, standing in our light, standing up for who you believe yourself to be, and speaking your individual signature. Your voice contains your own vibration, and even through speaking, you help to raise the vibration of those around you because your vibrational frequency is aligned with your voice. Okay? So a lot of work around the throat chakra you'll start to see. Plasma biofields as new and sustainable energy sources. I see these plasma biofields. This technology will become available in the next several years. It already is actually here, but it will be uncovered for humanity to use. Much like the med beds you hear about, these plasma biofields are actually already, the technology already exists. It's amazing. I see these as sustainable energy sources. Oneness, the conception of oneness and consciousness. Oneness consciousness, Christ consciousness. This consciousness, I was told through these 3 theories, quantum coupling, string theory, and the theory of relativity, somehow in combination, they will start to prove the consciousness of oneness and how we're all interconnected with these particular theories. I don't know if anybody is a scientist out there and those make sense to you, but those are the ones I channeled, and somehow science, this is the movement from religion to science and how things will start coming together in a bigger way. Technology will be major, and it's going to be compounding upon itself rather quickly. And this again is where we have to start practicing discernment. Bio and nanotechnology, quantum technology will be moving through communications and logistics, manufacturing, surgery, the way surgeries are performed, 5D printing or printing body parts, robotic, nanotech within the brain and the body. And this is where it is up to you to use your discernment, where your technology, your inner technology is coming online if you work with your chakra system, if you work with your own rays, if you work with bringing energy through you, dropping density so you can absorb more light, and activating those 10 strands of DNA, your holographic biocomputer, gives you the nanotechnology, the biotechnology, the quantum technology that exists already within your hardware, within your divine God-given rights as a divine being of light, to be able to communicate telepathically, to be able to move through 12-dimensional fields. You do not need to use a synthetic form of technology to do that. However, there will be those who choose to do this. So I would practice discernment, because this is already out there and it is already in the consciousness to bring forward, and everyone has their divine right to experience their evolutionary process or spiritual evolutionary process as they wish. So it's up to you to discern if this is a right thing for you or not, and how you want to work with the new technology as it becomes available. Logistics are going to become something of high priority over the next 11 to several years due to the way that we are using fuel or not using fuel, how we will be using power, how we will be getting products, sustainability of products, the manufacturing of those products, how we communicate, communication being Wi-Fi and all of those other disruptive frequencies. So there's going to be a lot of change in all of this front. There are so many positions of jobs and things that don't even exist right now. There's so much about holographic teaching and attending things holographically. And it's kind of like if you think of what we've been doing on Zoom, but this will be like on speed something, fast forward, like huge difference, much bigger, and the changes within that field are going to be outstanding and frankly mind-blowing just to even see. Advances in technology and medical field, a lot more in alignment with light, sound, frequency, energy-based technology in medicine. That is going to be a new field, especially with homeopathics, nanotechnology, and biotechnology. Again, this form of plant-based technology. All of these things are coming into the mainstream medical field as a lot of technology that already exists will start to be revealed to humanity again. There's many underground type of laboratories that are run through religious organizations and governmental organizations where they have worked with technology for a very long time that is proven to be a much more efficient and rejuvenating and restructuring process that can keep, that works with humanity to remain younger longer, to help keep us feeling better and more vitality and a more youthfulness appearance and cellular age-wise and without invasive surgery. All of this is going to become available in some of the information that will be coming to light. Restructuring world policy and governmental agencies. This will be happening later in the 3 to 4 year mark and moving forward. Policies will be rewritten, global policies. There'll be a lot of coming together. Many people have heard of this One World organization. And if you think of how everything has a polarity, there's a negative connotation of one world government, one world anything. And then there's a positive connotation of one world policy and one world unification. So it's about meeting in the middle and the balancing of everything, the balancing of humanity, the synchronicities all coming together, the restructuring of everything coming together, but it coming together in a way of harmony and of coherence, of heart-centered objectivity. These things, I believe, that are coming online will bring together humanity across the world to create a higher consciousness way of being and living and governing ourselves. And that will be something that we can address at a later time because the world will be shifting in between there and now. We'll be moving towards global sustainability and advocacy of humanity and all of life as equal and everything being protected and loved as